Hey, and thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com. I'm Derek Wetmore, and I am going to share with you my 5 thoughts from Sunday's Twins win against the White Sox. Really an ugly game for the Chicago White Sox. We'll get to that in this 5 thoughts edition of this video. The Twins did most of their damage in the 3rd inning. They sent 11 batters to the plate and scored 7 runs, most of them off Chicago starter John Danks. He was really not good on Sunday, struggled with control, and the Twins were just battering him around, and he did not help himself in the field either. It was just a sloppy fielded baseball game by Chicago, and really I wrote in the column that it was the ugliest game that I've seen this season. I watch primarily Twins games, but of course I tune into other games around baseball, and top to bottom, I haven't seen a performance that bad than what the White Sox turned in Sunday to finish a 4-game sweep. The Twins completing their 4-game sweep of the Chicago White Sox also means that Minnesota is 1 game above 500. Who would have thought that? 25 games in, after a 1-6 start, that the Twins would be 13-12. Definitely would not have thought that. I did not think they would approach 500 on this homestand. I said so on the latest Touch 'em All podcast, but boy, they proved me wrong, and they're playing a lot better baseball lately. That was obviously evident in that 3rd inning when they just sent a carousel up to the plate and knocked in a bunch of runs. Thought number 2, though, a little bit more concerning for the Twins. Once he was staked to that 7-run lead, Mike Pelfrey imploded the next half inning out. Really an ugly inning for Pelfrey. I wrote about it, detailed it in the column. You can check that out at 1500ESPN.com. But he hit 3 batters, walked a guy. His last 2 batters he faced, he had the bases loaded and he plunked them both. Obviously, he wasn't doing that intentionally. He was just struggling big time with his control. I asked Pelfrey after a couple of decent starts, what changed on Sunday that you were ineffective? And he said that his command was terrible. And it's hard to disagree. Pelfrey did not last the requisite 5 innings to qualify for a win in a game that the Twins went on to win 13-3. Reliever Ryan Presley came in, pitched a bit, and he qualified for the win and got it in the Twins' 10-run victory. But disappointing for the Twins and Mike Pelfrey that he was unable to even complete 5 on a day where really he would have just had to throw it over the plate, and he couldn't do that. I don't think his next start's in question, of course, because he's pitched well his past couple starts, and the Twins wouldn't be able to recall Tommy Milone without an injury to another player, for example. So anyway, a lot of logistical headaches to potentially pull Mike Pelfrey from the rotation, but I think it's premature to have that conversation. Just a stinker for Pelfrey, and see how he goes kind of the rest of the way, I think, before you make a decision like that. Some people on Twitter today were suggesting maybe move him to the bullpen, but I think given how he pitched his last couple of times out, Pelfrey probably deserves to keep that rotation spot, at least for now. Thought number 3, Oswaldo Garcia had been protected against a lot of the better left-handed pitchers that the Twins have faced. Paul Molitor decided to put Arcia in the lineup on Sunday against John Danks, who's a lefty, and it worked. Arcia went, let's see what he did before he had to leave the game. More on that in a second. Oswaldo Garcia against John Danks. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, his first plate appearance. And then he singled in that big 3rd inning for the Twins. Later in the 4th, he singled and had to be lifted. I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. My scorecard got pretty messy with all the things going on Sunday. In the 4th, yeah. Arcia had the RBI single, but you could tell as he was approaching first base, he was really laboring with his final couple of steps, and that was enough for Paul Molitor. He yanked him, got in pinch runner Jordan Schaefer. I talked to Arcia after the game. The Twins are calling his injury right hip irritation, but in my conversation with Arcia, he made it sound more like it was his right groin that's bothering him. He doesn't think he'll be able to play Monday. Paul Molitor expressed optimism that this is just a day-to-day injury, and he even talked about finding spots in the upcoming Oakland A's series to get Arcia's bat in the lineup. So we'll have to monitor that situation. I'll keep you posted when we learn more news. Thought number 4, Trevor Plouffe continues to be locked in. Entering Sunday, in his past 13 games, Plouffe had hit .340, .421 on-base percentage, .500 slugging percentage, and he had a monster game on Sunday, including a grand slam in that big 7-run inning for the Twins. He is pushing Joe Mauer right now for the Twins' best hitter, but be careful. I want to stress the words right now. I think Joe Mauer is still a better hitter than Trevor Plouffe, but Trevor Plouffe the past 2 weeks is really tearing the cover off the ball, and he appears, anyway, to me at least, like he's really locked in at the plate, and he showed that on Sunday. Thought number 5, I mentioned the ugly game for the White Sox. It was just bad any way you slice it up. 4 errors, a bunch of misplays, poorly pitched game. John Danks, of course, wasn't good as the starter, and the White Sox really just kept shooting themselves in the foot. You can't give the Twins extra outs and expect a consistently good outcome. The White Sox did that on a number of occasions Sunday, gave the Twins too many outs to play with, and the Twins just piled up the runs as a result. That'll do it for this 5 Thoughts video. Thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com. I'm off to the podcast studio, actually, to go record the next Touch 'Em All podcast with Phil Mackey. Check that out on iTunes if you like Twins talk. If you're watching this video, I assume that you do. Go to iTunes and search Touch 'Em All, and that's the weekly podcast with Phil Mackey and myself, Derek Wetmore, where we basically just turn on the mics and talk about the Twins once a week and do some analysis, talk about the Twins, we share our opinion. It's all fun stuff, always a fun conversation. So I encourage you to check that out. But until next time, I appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you later.